What is going on, guys? I'm Medium D Speaks. Today, I want to be talking about this YouTuber who goes by Arab, who you might have seen recently because one of his videos blew up. Uh, it has this thumbnail right here, where he's with these two Brazilian gang members. And if we look over at Arab's YouTube channel, we can see that this video came out 2 weeks ago. It's already got 4 million views. That's insane. And he has gained, whoa, he's gained millions and millions of views in the last month. 4 million, 2.4 million. No shot. 3 million. How is he getting this many views a day? I don't believe it. Millions of views a day. I guess these videos really, really blew up. And you can see he has got 742,000 subscribers. Okay, this is a better graph. Okay, I don't know where all those views came from. 5,000 subs, 4,000 subs, 6,000. So he's growing already, right? And then this video comes out 2 weeks ago. Boom! 13K, 16K, 12K, 10K, 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 12K, 15K. He's been getting like 10K new subs a day. Because essentially this guy was a Fortnite YouTuber for a while. If we look at his channel keywords, you can see Fortnite, Fortnite Pro, Arab Fortnite, Fortnite Coaching, and then you put in there also Arab Traveler, Arab Uncut, Danger Slums videos, because it looks to me like, let's see how far back. It looks like he used to be a vlogger and like a Fortnite YouTuber a while ago, maybe like 2 years ago. Yeah, so here's all the Fortnite stuff, and I guess he was pretty big with that. And then he starts blogging, starts like doing humans of the world. He's like trying to find something different to do that's probably interesting to him. I guess he probably already has money from the Fortnite stuff, and that's how he's able to fund it. He's like very well connected. He does videos with people like Sneeko and Keemstar. Goes to Dubai, travels all the time. I went clubbing in Dubai. And then the vlogs, he seemed to do like 100 vlogs traveling all over the world, which is pretty cool. But then where I came in here is, oh, he hired a traveling intern. I didn't even know that. Okay, so he started doing these more Mr. Beast style thumbnail videos here, catching my friends with OF. Caught Gideon sneaking into TwitchCon. I broke Andrew Tate inside Quablecop's $13 million apartment. And then, and like, did a little bit of that for a little while. Then he started doing these sort of like prank videos, like Gideon style, I think, where he was traveling around the world. And then I think he found some success here inside Turkey's $1 billion illegal replica market. And then he took what he was already doing, I guess, which is the traveling, and he converted that into these sort of documentaries he's been doing for, I don't know, like the past 4 or 5 months, I think. Yeah, he went to Africa's most dangerous hood, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, went all over Africa to all these interesting places, and I think he found some success with that. And I was watching these videos, and they weren't doing that well, and it was confusing to me. I didn't realize, oh, he was a big Fortnite YouTuber, because some of these videos, I mean, now they're doing really, really well. But like 80K views is not that many views. 100,000 views, like these probably got a lot of views very recently. Um, but these videos here that have like 400,000, 500,000, 400,000 views, until recently they had maybe like 30,000 views. And so he just hit what I call the YouTube snowball, which is really interesting to see on a channel for the second time. Right? Usually a channel will have a blow up and then they'll have a fall off. And then it's very rare. I mean, I guess it's less rare now because a lot of people have reinvented themselves or come back from the dead. But this guy sort of reinvented himself, took over a year, and obviously spent a ton of money on like traveling and doing stuff. Probably was still making money from the Fortnite stuff for all I know. It looks like he gets a lot of views on those videos. But he's like reinvented himself in the last couple months, and I've been watching all of this stuff. Um, and actually, I don't know if I should talk about it because it's kind of set in stone, but it's not 100% set in stone. Things can always change. Since I'm Cuban and I'm from Cuba, one of my dreams is to start a series where I take YouTubers to Cuba. Particularly, like I want to take like Hassan, Second Thought, Vosh, Destiny, not Destiny so much, but Destiny because he's Cuban, but like the other guys because they say, oh, Cuba's so great and it's only bad because of America. Like I want them to go there and see it for themselves to see if they'll keep talking shit. So I reached out to Arab when he starts doing these documentaries. I'm like, hey, would you want to go to Cuba? Like my family's there. You can come stay with my family there. You could see what it's really, really like. And he was like, down. We talked about it a little bit, and we might be doing that in October and November. So I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, we might not do it in October, November. We might do it later, but that's when I'm planning on doing it. Let's see what he says. We have a meeting for it in a couple months. But anyway, today, I see this video he just dropped, How I Became the Most Wanted Man in Brazil, which is pretty clickbaity title. I doubt it's real, but you might have seen the I Spent a Day with Rio, Brazil's most dangerous gang, where he somehow got in with these favela gang leaders from one of the biggest gangs in Brazil. We can watch that video if you want. But I really wanted to look at this video because I want to see what's going on with this situation, because that video with the gang leaders blew up, absolutely blew up. You can see 4.3 million views, and that created what we call the YouTube snowball effect, a term coined by me personally, Medium D Speaks, where someone works really, really hard making videos for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, a really long time, sometimes 6 months. People get lucky, but usually it's around 18 months is what I've discovered in my research. I did research on this a couple years ago, and I was going to make a YouTube video, but I didn't do it. You'll work for like 18 months, and things have changed now with like shorts, but this was back in the day. You make these videos, you work really hard on them, they're high quality, you get a tiny audience, you're not really finding success, you're not what someone would call a real YouTuber because it's not your job yet, and then for some reason one of your videos hits the algorithm, and then everybody loves it, and then the algorithm goes, oh, well, this guy's got 2 years of consistent videos he's been making. Since this video did really well, maybe we should promote some of like the slightly better performing older videos they have. And then the next one gets promoted, and that one starts blowing up. And then the next one starts blowing up, the next one, and the next one. And you sort of get all at once. It's usually very rare that YouTubers grow slowly. Usually it's like this guy, where he has 2 separate blow-ups, right? He had 300,000 subs, but most of those people weren't watching for this. So the new 400,000 subscribers he just got in the last 2 weeks, like that's going to be the new base audience, I would say. And so now he dropped a video escaping the police in Morocco a week ago, and instead of getting 30,000 views like his older videos were getting, got 162K. And then all these videos back here, they all jumped up to hundreds of thousands of views. So when the YouTube snowball effect happens, it's really cool. You get this huge check usually for like a month or two for almost like residuals for all the work you did making all those videos for 2 years, if your whole backlog starts blowing up. And that's when people can really like take the next step into being big. But it seems like this guy was already independently wealthy. So anyway, we're going to get right into how I became the most wanted man in Brazil. I'm very interested in this video, so let's check it out.
Vamos aqui levar a gente lá em cima pra polícia, né? A polícia, a gente vai subir com você, já que você conhece a turma.
By the way, my girlfriend is Brazilian, and she's in Brazil right now, with her family. I was supposed to go visit them, but that's not happening, which made me really sad because I'm a linguist. I speak several languages, and I never want to learn Portuguese, even dating this girl for almost 4 years. And then she said, you can go to Brazil, but you have to learn Portuguese so you can talk to my grandma and like my family. And I said, all right, fuck it. I'm going to learn Brazilian Portuguese so fast. And I did. And I like really hunkered down and started learning Brazilian Portuguese and got really into it. And then it was like, oh, you're not going to Brazil. My family doesn't want you to go, which sucks, obviously. That can cause a big problem in a relationship. But since I just learned so much Portuguese, like I can kind of understand these people, which is cool. Let's go on.
Porque de uma certa forma ele tá lá, né?
Mas
Ele não é
sinceramente,
jornalista, ele não tá fazendo uma reportagem. Chegou lá como?
that's me all over Brazilian national news, and that headline reads, Lebanese
Hold
YouTuber
on, let me
being
read it.
investigated.
YouTuber libanês sendo investigado pela polícia brasileira. So Lebanese YouTuber is being investigated by the Brazilian police. This is like, even if you only spoke English, like this would be pretty easy to understand. You probably wouldn't get the sendo and pela, but like YouTuber libanês, you could probably figure out. Lebanese, maybe. Investigado, very obvious. Polícia brasileira. Oh, okay, he's being investigated by the Brazilian police.
investigated by Brazilian police.
How many people have you killed?
If you're unfamiliar with the situation, within 7 days of being in Rio de Janeiro, I was able to infiltrate and document information about favela gang life that news stations have been trying to do for decades.
Now, police in Brazil are searching.
That is really cool. I'm really excited to see what this guy does in Cuba. I'm really excited to see. Like, he, in his other videos, he's like shown up in like Kenya or Nigeria and given some like local money to like be his guide so people don't mess with him. And then he does go with like money and hands it out to locals. But then he just ends up hanging out with the people and talking to them about like, what's your day-to-day life like? And in Brazil, it was like the first time that everyone was like, yo, chill, because like what he was doing in Africa of just going up to people and being like, yo, do you speak English? Can you show me around? Like the local he was with was like, bro, chill. And he was like an MMA fighter taking him to like the favelas. Because I guess he he was used to like, oh, well, everybody said Africa was dangerous, but I made it through Africa fine. He didn't realize like, yo, Brazil, it's different. You're a foreigner in Brazil. In the fucking favelas, they see you as a target. Even if you're with a fucking MMA fighter Brazilian, you gotta be chill. Somehow, though, he still managed to riz his way into hanging out with these gang members, which is incredibly impressive. So I'm really, really excited if I go to Cuba with this guy to see what he's going to be able to pull off there. Because Cuba is, it's not dangerous physically at all. Really, there's not a lot of crime in Cuba. Maybe people like steal things sometimes, I guess, but it's dangerous for the people there to speak. And now that Cuba's on the internet, it has a heavily monitored internet. So like if you go to Cuba, you can get on YouTube, you can get on Facebook, but everything is going through the Cuban server. You can't get into like American banking accounts, American trading accounts. So like when I was there, I had like open trades on Robinhood and TD that I couldn't see. I had to call my mom and be like, Mom, I need you to log into my account and close my trades because I think they're up. Everything's heavily monitored. A lot of people use VPNs, but the problem is even the VPNs are blocked. So how they get around that is really, really, like, it's old school. It makes perfect sense. Instead of downloading the app onto their phone directly from the internet, which they can't do, what they do is they pass around hard drives that have VPNs and real news and like screenshots of Reddit and the internet and the latest TV episodes and like even full video games. Like my cousin gets video games for his PS5, which he has a PS5, before we do. Or he said they have movies, like when I go to Cuba, I'll see movies that aren't out for another like 2 weeks, but because they pass them around on hard drives. So yeah, there are ways to get around it, but like I'm really interested to see what he would do in Cuba, where it's not just the people are dangerous, but the government is dangerous, and the people could be putting themselves in danger by speaking on camera about the realities of their day-to-day life. Anyway, let's go on.
The bodies of two men, a British journalist, Don Phillips, and a Brazilian expert on indigenous people, Bruno Pereira.
It's 3 kilometers from the riverbank in this thick forest that human remains were found.
For years, mainstream media has tried to get footage of this and failed, with multiple reporters dying. May they rest in peace. But the truth is, these news stations condemning me in Brazil aren't condemning me. They're condemning the fact that I outperform them.
Então, esse rapaz, eu não vou falar árabe, parece que todos árabes são desse jeito. A gente acaba generalizando. Até o cara tem apelido.
That's really funny. His name is Arab. Like, that's literally, look at his name, Arab. They're saying, I'm not going to call him Arab because everybody who's Arab is Arab. That's really fucking funny. Oh, he's in the mainstream media. Good for him, dude. Good for him.
Que não faz nem o menor sentido. Ele encontrou com o líder, concorda?
Sim.
Ele deve estar do lado.
But it's okay. If they want to write articles like this, I can write my own.
That's fucking sick. What's the publication? Jornal Nacional. The national newspaper. Interesting. That's awesome. I would buy that shirt.
It's not actually my own. This is an actual headline from Brazilian national news that reads, Lebanese YouTuber being investigated by Brazilian police. Look guys, most YouTubers would charge you for the kind of content I put on my website, but I want to keep it for free. So I'm trying to keep it up and support it by producing merch that's high quality that you guys can support and, you know, rep across the world to say that you're part of the movement. It's limited edition and a comfortable fit, and this design will never return. And don't worry, it's a lot higher quality than what you see here. This is just the best thing I could get my hands on in a third world country like Lebanon. So go to shop.arabuncut.com and join the movement now.
Let me ask you, what's the
Outside
difference? If a news station was to go in and film every single thing I filmed, would they be condemned? Or is it because I'm a YouTuber with a tiny little camera that there's an issue with it? Truth is, there's a power shift coming.
Hold on. Look at that camera. Is that what he walks through? Bro, you walk around with that camera in the wrong areas, even in the US, you might run into some problems. That looks like a... Bro, it's got a double barrel and everything. Like, that's how you get shot. That's how you end up in a news article. YouTuber shot by police because they thought his camera was a gun. Yo, I mean, it's a cool camera. I'm sure it's a very good camera. I've seen his videos. They look good. But that's how you get shot, bro. Tell me that doesn't look like a gun. Tell me a cop wouldn't confuse that for a gun on a brown guy like him or me.
Camera. That there's an issue with it. Truth is...
Yo, he's got a cigar like he's Andrew Tate. Yo, this is fun. Bro, look at his chest, too. I would bet money. I gotta ask him this. That he just, did some push-ups or hit the bench press or something to get a big chest pump right before recording this. Because he looks big and imposing as he's saying this. He looks big and masculine. I'm not saying he's not like a muscular guy. He seems like a big muscular guy. But I don't know, man. It looks to me like he's popping out of that shirt. Look at his fucking chest. I would bet that he probably got a gym pump before recording this.
There's a power shift coming. Mainstream media can't handle that they're no longer in control of the narrative. So they latch on to every single negative headline that they can to try to brainwash you.
That's true.
What did I do wrong? I played sports with the local kids and blessed them with a lifelong memory that they'll never forget. I went and hung out at the local football tournament, drank beers, and flirted with a girl. Then I got a haircut in the favela and supported somebody making an honest business.
He opened late for us. Keep. Todo. Obrigado. Thank you.
Yeah, I laughed when I interviewed them. Yeah, I was fascinated by what they had to show me.
Yo, is that?
But so are you. That's why you're watching this video. When did it become cool to shoot the messenger? If these news stations had the opportunity to do what I did, when did it become cool to shoot the messenger?
Estrangeiros lucram com crime no Rio de Janeiro. Foreigners fight with crime in Rio.
If these news stations had the opportunity to do what I did, they would do the same exact thing. But they don't.
I guess.
Because they don't come in wanting to learn. They come in wanting a hit
This
piece.
guy literally looks like Andrew Tate. I think that's really funny. Yo, wait, hold up. Let me see this. There's a person there. Is that his girl? Is that his girl in the sunglasses? He's like talking into a camera on a table. Oh, all right. Look at his little setup here in his backyard. That's pretty chill. And he's got... Is that his girl or his homie? What do you think? Girl or homie? Let's do some analysis of the position that they're standing. I think that's his girl because of the legs. Yeah, I think that's his girl. Look at the outfit. Yeah, that's his girl. All right. He out here with his girl recording this, smoking this cigar. He's got a little pump on his chest. He looking good. Good for you, bro. Good for you.
But that's not how you get people to show you real life. That's how you make your own narrative. What, do you not think that I'm an enemy to every gang in Brazil now that I've made this video? The entire country has seen it, and the news is calling me a crime apologist for being a journalist.
Porque aí não vira apologia ao crime, já que eu não tô mostrando a arma, né?
Então, se tá
But regular citizens don't think that. The only reason I'm not dead yet is because I can share a laugh with anyone. I see these people as humans. I see them as a friend.
Yeah.
Amigo. I've reached out to the news stations to come on for a live interview, but they haven't responded because they know I'd embarrass them twice.
Yo, that's so based. You imagine? You're like, hey, you just ran a story on me. I mean, the thing is, they're gonna forget about it in like 12 hours later. They're not even going to care about him. They're just using the fact that the video got so many views to like clickbait their own headlines, right? YouTuber is, you know, it draws, ironically, it draws in the views to mainstream media. Mainstream media makes a video about a YouTuber. The people want to read it or want to watch it. They're just using him for clickbait. It's true. But like the thing about him reaching out to them is like they're not going to want to talk to him. And I don't necessarily think it's that they think he's dangerous or they're jealous of him. I really think it's probably just that like 12 hours later, like the news cycle has moved on and they don't give a shit about him. He was just like a quick thing to bring up. And so because it's about him, it seems a lot more important. But to the Brazilian news, I don't think they care that much. To be honest, I think they're just using it for very quick clickbait, because in Brazil, just like here, they have a 24-hour news cycle that's constantly going, trying to scare people, trying to get clicks. You know, it's YouTube, bro. Like traditional media is just YouTube. It's clickbait. It's just there's only one channel, so they have to keep that content fresh, because if you're not watching the TV at all, right, there's this plethora of outside stuff. So they either have a captive audience of the people that only watch TV, or they're going to lose everything. So they have to keep that captive audience that just watches TV news captive and captivated.
Brazil, you're one of the most beautiful countries I've been to. From women, to the vibe, to the sushi. Fuck. I'm gonna miss it. Eu te amo, Brazil. But I think for now, I won't be coming anywhere close to you. Because there's an entire world of slums out there to explore. And this was just the beginning.
Yo, I'm taking bro to Cuba. I'm so excited for that. W in the chat if you're excited for me to be taking bro to Cuba. How do you know all these YouTubers? Bro, just reach out to them. A YouTuber's job is to be at the computer all day. A streamer's job is to be at the computer all day, but a YouTuber even more so, right? So like the streamer is interacting with chat, and then in their off time, maybe they want to be away from the computer, maybe not. Maybe they're just like the kind of person that is on the computer in general. But a YouTuber's job is two things. You're making content, but the actual recording of the content is like 2%. Because you're researching, you're writing, you're editing. Editing takes forever. And then after that, you have to like pick the right tags, make the thumbnail. Like you can have a team for this, but you're still kind of on top of it. There are people that are certainly detached, like people like a doctor or a lawyer that doesn't give a shit about YouTube. Like they just have a full ass team. But like a YouTuber, they are on the computer doing stuff, and then they're promoting themselves, they're interacting on social media. Their job is to harvest an audience's attention and then sell that to advertisers. That's what being a YouTuber is. And it can get lonely, right? Like this guy's doing it right. He's like traveling around the world, making videos, traveling around the world, talking to people, interacting with people, and then just putting that on YouTube. But he's still editing it. He's still working on it, or he has probably has people. I'm gonna assume he has people. A YouTuber is on their phone. A YouTuber is like a regular person that is on their phone more than like a plumber or a construction worker or a miner. Like I have a friend that's a miner. If I text him, not a miner, he mines. He literally mines for coal. If I text him at like 2 p.m., I'm not getting a text back till 6 or 7. Why? Because he's in the mine. But if you have a YouTuber, if I send him a text or DM or something at 2, he's probably on his phone. And if he does see it, he'll probably respond. So, like, interacting with YouTubers doesn't take much. Like, if you have any small presence, like, they'll see you as another YouTuber. So I just reach out to people and I just talk to people because we're contemporaries and I want to be in this space too. So, I don't know. And if your message is intriguing enough, right, people are going to respond to you. It depends on the person. You kind of got to feel them out. Like, is this someone... Like, if I reach out to Ludwig, he's not going to respond to me. If I reach out to Mr. Beast, he's not going to respond to me because these people are busy. They have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching them, met so many messages. But, like, people that are more medium-sized, people probably aren't reaching out to them as much, so they're probably a little easier to get access to, and they're probably still going to see your message, as opposed to, like, the guy that has 100,000 unread messages, especially people that have, like, a side hustle where they're, like, a coach or, selling some other facet of their time to people, they're checking their messages. So you send them something intriguing enough, they're going to respond. And a lot of YouTubers make Discords, and then the Discord community will be there, and you can talk to people through Discord, and you can reach out to them that way. It's a lot easier than you think to talk to YouTubers. It really, really is, especially if you are trying to be a YouTuber too. And community is a huge part of it. Like a lot of, like, sure, many people only come up on their own, but some of the most successful people like use networking with other YouTubers and collaboration, or even just talking. Like, you don't even have to make a video together. There could be a guy behind the scenes that's like helping you out, and giving you advice, and you're in the same line of work. Like, you have a language that you can speak to each other in very, very easily, like analytics, editing, all these things. So that's how. Let's check out that Brazil gang video. I've already seen it, but let's check it out again. Oh, where did I go? Crap.
Ele é YouTuber, esse rapaz.
Done this. Yeah, so this video got 4.3 million views in 2 weeks. That's incredible, especially looking at like the rest of everything. And then here, like I said, you can see it looks like he gets a lot of views, but like you look at his subs, he was gaining thousands of subs a day, which is kind of weird. Like, even on an off day, he's getting 3K subs, but I guess his like channels, his videos are doing well. But you can see this big peak right here, 13,000, 12,000, 16,000, and then it's been like really, really high. You know, I wonder. No. So let's check out this video.
Brazilian favelas are often referred to worldwide as some of the most dangerous places on earth. That was the original intro that YouTube removed, because what I'm about to show you is some of the most undocumented footage of Brazil that the world has ever seen. And they keep shutting me down for showing you it.
How many people have you killed?
Today, we've gained access to one of 4 gangs that are constantly fighting for power in the Rio de Janeiro region. And they're showing us their entire operation.
Okay, so he has this website, arabuncut.com, that has like the stuff like literally just unedited. He's like, oh, I can't put this stuff on YouTube, and like I get it. He tried, and like it got taken down, but it's totally free. I don't know if there's ads on it. I didn't notice any ads. It's a very well done website. Whoever made it for him, or maybe he made it himself. I don't know if he's like skilled at that, but he seems like the person that would definitely just get someone very, very good to do that. I don't know what the benefit is. But I mean, he's got the merch now, right? So it's his merch website, and you can direct people to buy the merch on the website. So that's a form of income. And then he's got your email. To get in, you have to put in your email, and you have to make a username and a password. There's no other way. It's a pop-up. You can't close out of it. So I guess he's getting an email list, and there's definitely a lot of benefit within like the marketing world to getting an email list. So I guess that's how he's benefiting from putting out the content, like quote unquote, for free. He's sort of like trying to just build an audience that's more loyal to him. Because like if you are willing to go off of YouTube to check out somebody's content, that's a really, really big deal. All right, let's keep going.
We've driven up multiple different alleys in the favela, about 20-30 minutes. We've passed multiple different checkpoints with armed guards, okay, not police officers, members of the gang here. We have passed alleys of bars and restaurants where they're sitting watching the football match. Okay, there's a big football match right now in Brazil, with AKs in their hands, drinking beers, and everyone's just chilling. And as we've passed with the leader in the front seat of the car, okay, look, this is the car. I don't want to show too much. The leader's in the back. This is the car. He's sitting in that front seat, and everybody he's walking by is just dabbing him up. He's getting out the car saying hi to everybody. You know, he's the motherfucking guy. Can I hold his gun? No way. Okay, I'm using my gun safety. This right here, I was told to move, but this right here is the gun of the leader of the favela. He's got an extended mag on a pistol, and he carries 2 guns at all times, which is so wild to me because I walk around into all these places with no safety, and here I am holding an extended mag.
Okay. Wow. Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta take a small detour. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Let's go full screen here. Have you guys ever seen those YouTube videos where they say, this is how to make $1,500 from scam calls? I answer the scam likely calls. And if it's not like somebody in India or somewhere like doing like the type of scam that if it's not somebody in India doing the type of scam that Scammer Payback or Trilogy Media looks into, I keep them on the phone and I get their information, and then I call my lawyer and I do what those TikToks say of like, oh, it's illegal to, you know, call someone who's on the do not call list. I'm on the do not call list. I have a lawyer that's been working at this on this case of this company that called me a bunch of times. They've been working on it for months, and they just texted me right now, hey, we weren't able to serve them. They ducked the summons. The location that they say their address is not their address. It's all fake. We can't find these people. We can't give them summons. We have to dismiss the case. Bro, what? How do you do that? How do you duck summons? And I was only gonna make like, I think maybe like $1,500 to $3,000 from the case, from like 2 calls. You can get like $1,500 for a call. They ducked the summons. We've been doing this since like January. It's July. Oh my god, dude. You imagine being that lawyer, working for months trying to get these people to get someone $1,500, and you know they take like a 40% cut, which is fine. And the person just didn't get the summons. They just weren't served. Like, you know, in the movies they go like, "Oh, is your name this?" Yeah. You've been served. They weren't able to serve them, so they dropped the case. Yo, that's crazy. I guess the moral of this story, if you're in public and somebody asks you your name randomly, never say yes, because you can duck lawsuits by just not getting served. That's fucking crazy. All right, let's keep going. Oh, that's all. It's mildly annoying. It's a tiny lawsuit. I don't really care about it. I was just trying to do a TikTok thing.
Of a fucking favela leader.
That's
right?
wild,
These guys
bro. He's
these
gonna
guys
extendo
trust me
mag on
enough.
pistol.
They trust me enough. I could have come in here and I could have killed him. I'm holding his gun right now. I didn't even get searched. The power of YouTube clout, I guess.
Don't film back now. Just front.
You see, like, they tell him, like, yo, put the camera down, don't film, don't look back, just film forward.
So he's behind us right now. We're filming in front.
Does he have a cameraman? I can only see 2 shadows.
That's a view.
No, he's holding the camera, right? It's just him?
Over there is the carnival, you know?
Man, that's so
over there.
Oh, that's where carnival happens.
Yeah. It's over there.
Okay. I will.
If we can send the video.
I will.
To say, okay.
Because this video won't be out for another 6 weeks.
There, I was asked to send a revision of the footage to approve before I upload it.
Yo,
Look,
you imagine you worked for the gang's PR department. You're like, yeah, let's bring in this YouTuber, but you gotta send us. That's like how YouTube ads work. When a company sponsors a video, you gotta send them a review copy, and then the day before it's released, they send it back to you like, yeah, it's okay, or they say, no, you gotta take this part out or change this part. That's crazy. The gang has a PR department. That's funny.
Guys, I'm not the BBC. I'm not Vice. I'm not here to make hit pieces. To me, all these adventures are experiences that fascinate me. The unknown, the unpredictable. I document these stories so that you can experience them from all over the world. ArabUncut.com.
We're now at a basketball court, and the jungle is okay to film, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's like kind of in the middle of the jungle, and these kids are out here playing soccer, football, wrestling. Amigo, football. Football. All right. Let's play. Gringo, gringo. Come on.
This is like.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like when I go to Cuba. It's like this. Like if I walk around like near like the parks and shit, it's exactly like this. Like you see the kids don't have shoes because maybe the kids have like one pair of shoes every year of their life or something. Even that like might be unlikely. So in these places where it's really poor, it's like you can't wear, the parents like, you cannot wear those shoes to go play and mess up the shoes or destroy the shoes or get them dirty. You only have this one pair of shoes. So kids play barefoot, and there'll be like broken glass and shit. They don't fucking care. But that's just normal. Like they'll be out there playing in like cement like this, or like in grass, or on dirt, playing with like a crappy ball. And like they're having the time of their lives. They're just living to the maximum, because as a kid you don't really understand like how crappy you have it. All you need is like to hang out with your friends and have a ball, and like you're having fun. I think that's awesome. Like we lose that as adults. So especially right now, you compare yourself to others. But I go to Cuba and like, yeah, the older people, my family and everybody, their family friends, they're like, yeah, it's really bad here. We're trying to leave. We're trying to get out of here. While the kids, they don't get it. They're having fun. They have the time of their lives. They're out there hanging out with their friends. It's really, really interesting. Like I wonder what the cutoff point is where you start to realize, oh, yeah, this is really crappy. And I need more in life. Like I wonder where that cutoff point for satisfaction comes in. And I wonder if like in some places or in periods of history, like that revelation never kicks in. Maybe it's through things like hunger, but like, let's say you're just like not hungry, like you can at least eat, but you just don't have much. I'm sure there are places where people live like that and they don't really like strive for more, and they're probably pretty happy. And they just do something in the community and they continue to live kind of like these kids. Anyway.
Defendeu, filho, defendeu. Estados Unidos. Ele tá pedindo pra tu falar. He asked you to. Are you a good player?
Malay? You understand English?
Ele tá pedindo.
Wants you to say something in Portuguese, in English.
What's your name?
Qual o seu nome?
Gua. Luan. Oh, his name's Luan.
Yeah, same.
You ever see a gringo here?
Você. Again.
Does a gringo ever come this far?
Ele perguntou se você já viu algum gringo aqui.
Aqui não, primeira vez.
First time. Come on. Abraça ele, tirar uma foto. Let's hug,
So Portuguese really, really sounds a lot like, to me, like Argentinian Spanish. I think it was easy for me because I speak Spanish. It's crazy how much like you can understand it once you understand like the pronunciation conventions, because it sounds like nonsense if you don't know the pronunciation conventions. But once you get the pronunciation conventions and you can like in your head picture what the words are, it makes so much sense. It's like, oh, this is very similar to Spanish. I don't know. I think you can, if you speak Spanish, you can probably learn Portuguese really, really, really easily.
Hug. Vem.
Who's the best football player?
You're Cristiano Ronaldo?
I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. Me! Pelé. I'm giving the YouTube to him, and he's gonna walk around and be the cameraman now. Tell him you're the YouTuber now. Walk around. And tell him.
Speak English? Yes, I can speak. Hello.
So that's like his homeboy that he takes with him. That's pretty cool. To be the homeboy. Like they just get him to go on all these trips just to record. That's pretty sick.
Cameraman!
Is this too loud? Can somebody tell me this is too loud? It looks like it's peeking in the yellow thing.
El mejor. ¿Qué? Hi. Tell him, if I hit it in the goal area and he blocks it, I'll give 100 real, and everyone shares it. You go buy food or drink.
O bagulho é o seguinte. É R$100 pra todo mundo dividir aqui. Abre o espaço, abre o espaço, abre o espaço, abre o espaço. Fala. Abre.
That's fun, but I don't really care that much about like him playing with the kids anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead. It's cool, but like, okay. I could see, it's amazing that this video is doing so well because I could totally see the retention graph through like this, what is it, 7 minutes of playing with these like kids. How long does this go on? 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Yeah, 8.5 minutes of just playing with these kids. Like, I could only imagine. This would be my thought, right? Because the video got 4 million views. But my assumption, oh my god, like since we've been watching the video, it went up from 4.2 to 4.3 million views. So like in the last hour, it jumped over the threshold. It could have been at like, I don't know, 248,000, and it went to 252,000. Now they're counting it as 4.3 million. But if I were to think of like what the retention graph of this video with a great premise and great thumbnail and great title would be, I would assume it looks like this. Like, oh, it's up here 100%, and then you get to the kids and like, okay, we're gonna watch through that, and it starts dipping down, and then I would assume it just like tanks out to like 10-20% retention, and people just skip through like how long until we get to the gang leaders, and then around the gang leaders, I would say you can actually kind of see that if you go on here, you can see the retention graph. Okay, yeah, you can see the retention graph here of like these are the most watched parts, the parts with the spike. So there's the thumbnail, right? So that's going to be the most watched part by far, and then the most watched part by far, the most replayed, is this part at the end right here. So that's the retention graph. And like, yeah, you can see, okay, so if we go over here, like, yeah, it's exactly what it's literally exactly what I said. Okay, it's exactly what I said. It starts out up here. You see, like everybody starts the video, they're watching, right? So it's 100% always at the very, very beginning of a video. And then the further it goes in, it starts to dip down. There's some peaks over here because he's got the gun. Like, that's pretty cool to see. And then he's like talking here, so this part is engaging because he's talking directly to the camera by himself. And then you get to the kids and it just drops, and you get a couple little peaks here and there where like this is literally probably, okay, so if we look at the time, this is probably someone jumping, yeah, this is like somebody jumping ahead 3 minutes to see like how much longer is this, and then they do it again here. These are pretty evenly spaced. And then you get over here and it's the same thing, right? People skip through. He's just walking through the favela and just talking to the camera, which is not very engaging. It doesn't even look very engaging. And then you get over here. Why does it pick up here?
Them. And that might be a different perspective than you're used to.
Because now he's with the gang members.
That's how I see the world. And when you come in here with open arms, they take you in with open arms. Sure, we had to know a few people, so they don't think we're like a rival gang. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Like I said, these are my experiences, what I've seen and how I've been treated. I do warn you, if you are to do something like this, be careful. I know the risks and I choose to ignore them. From there, we went to the soccer field where the teams of different favelas under the same gang compete for a $10,000 seasonal tournament put on by the favela leaders.
Yeah. Okay, the football match just finished.
Yeah, they say that people do that in Mexico, that like the places that are totally taken over by the cartel, like you cross over the road, you're driving and the road becomes super, super nice because the cartels, or here the gangs, are actually taking care of the community in a sense better than the government. So they become sort of the new government, but it's like a private enterprise government. It's sort of like a libertarian dream, right? But it's almost feudalism too, because the people live in fear. If they do anything against the gang, they might get killed. And so if another one that's more amenable to the people comes in, they might have the people's support. That's interesting. So the favelas basically the favela gangs basically keep the people in the favelas on their side by hosting soccer tournaments where they pay out cash rewards and like probably funding businesses. If you've ever seen The Wire, The Wire's really cool. there's a part where a guy comes out of prison after like a 15-year bit, and he was like part of the Baltimore gang life and selling drugs on the street, but he's been inside for like 15 years. So he picks up right where he left off. He gets a pack of drugs and he tries to sell it. He tries to pass it off to a street dealer, and the street dealer scams him and pulls a gun on him. And he's like, oh, well, fuck, that was my front. Like, but he's older now, right? He's 15 years older. This kid's like 15 years old, and he's like 30, 32. He doesn't have it in him anymore. So instead of continuing to try to be a gangster, this character has a change of heart, and he wants to start a boxing gym for kids. But instead of going to a bank, obviously, because you're a convict, he's seen as like a veteran by the organization. So he goes to the leader of the organization and he gives him a pitch like he's on Shark Tank, saying, hey, I want to open up a gym for the kids. I don't have the street in me anymore. And instead of like killing him, like you would think like people would do when somebody leaves a gang, right? Blood in, blood out. They're like, how much are you asking for? He's like, I probably need like 10,000. Like, it's a big ask for him. And the guy laughs at him. He's like, oh, bro, is that all you need? And he gives him 20,000 and tells him, go take care of those kids. Because they see the veterans of the gang war, especially somebody that did time and didn't snitch, in the same way as like a community elder, right? So they take care of them. And the favelas, this is exactly what they do, right? They take care of their own, but on a grander scale. It's very, very interesting.
We basically walked through, and we couldn't film any of it because we don't want to leak any gang members'
Yeah, and
faces.
gang members are like
in
living all the
trouble.
time.
But some of the most surreal places I've ever been. You're good, bueno. You're
That
not
looks
in
so
the
much
camera.
like Cuba, but not really. Just that part.
And we walked
That part doesn't look like Cuba.
past an entire fleet of gang members down there in that area. Okay? AKs, they're pimped out like skins that you would see in Call of Duty. Truly some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. And all these people here, look, they feel safe, bro. There's kids playing football. This is where they grow up. They're all drinking beers, and just because there's people roaming around with guns, like I said to the locals, they're the people that keep the streets safe. We are so deep in the favela, guys.
Yeah, they keep the street safe. Like that, it's so counterintuitive to think about that, right? Because here we think of like wanton gang violence, or like you might be into like WNM or YNM Melly and like O Block, Brandon Buckingham's videos, where it just seems like straight violence and retaliation here. But yeah, in other countries, like the organized crime is like the almost like a feudal leader, like Ned Stark. Like the favela leaders are more like the Starks than the Bloods, in my opinion. And then the modern Blood, I'm sure the Bloods also like have had periods of time where they took care of each other and like took care of their communities. I think that's actually how it started out. It was like a civil rights thing.
We wanted to, come here, come. If we even wanted to escape, if we did something, if they didn't fuck with us.
It's impossible. We don't know how to get out, and you just can't. You can't get out.
The dudes, they're actually right under us. I'm not gonna show them. I showed you
brought him in here, like he
guys
can't
this
leave.
area, but I don't want to show like.
But like if they brought you in here, like they fuck with you. Like the idea of a YouTuber is cool. One time, I was really broke and I needed dental work, and I couldn't afford it. I literally couldn't afford it. And my insurance, like for the year, had run out. I had dental insurance, but I didn't have like thousands of dollars to do all this like stuff they were saying I needed. And the guy was like, bro, sell your phone, do something. The doctor said that, right? The dentist was like, and I said, no, I need my phone. He's like, why? I was like, for work. I was like, what for work? And I said, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. And the entire office of nurses came in, and the whole mood changed. Like, oh, you're trying to be a YouTuber? What? Tell me about it. How do you do it? But like, and I had like less than 1,000 subscribers maybe at the time. Like I had just started doing YouTube. And not that I'm a big channel now, but you tell people you're a YouTuber, even if they don't know who you are, like you get a certain amount of clout in society. You really, really do.
What's here, because down there is like, well, it's the killers. You know, you could tell that they're the hitmen of the favela. If they got up and they took a picture with me.
You see what I'm saying? They don't even know who he is, but they know he is a YouTuber. And on top of that, right, he's been brought in there because he has a certain amount of clout. When you are a YouTuber, even if you're just walking around with a camera or you just tell people you're a YouTuber, there is a certain amount of clout that comes with that. Like, honestly, try it. Try it. Try going out into the world and get into like a situation where you bring up that you are trying to do YouTube, right? Or that you are a YouTuber. They might ask you for your channel, so if you don't have a channel, that kind of sucks. But the demeanor of people changes so much when you say you're a YouTuber, especially if you're abroad. Like when I'm in Cuba, like I am a YouTuber. Everybody's like, oh, this is our cousin. He's a YouTuber. And I'm like, I'm not really like a YouTuber, but yeah. I promise you, like, this is real. You get a certain amount of clout just for people knowing that ideologically you are a YouTuber all over the world. It's very interesting.
It's me for a picture, so he did. Yeah, so pretty cool to see, you know, like this is something they haven't seen before. Is gringo coming this deep into the favela, and it's good vibes.
And that's another thing. We think about like gringo as like white person, but a gringo is just anybody that's not Latin.
It's good vibes. I don't know what else I can really say other than that.
Now, if you want, you can go in the court,
okay,
make some images, go in the bar, drink some beer and talk to normal people.
Okay.
And after you can film the guns guys and the men of the faction.
You don't want to be with?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we've gotten permission to film now on the way back. Well, you step. Everyone's leaving me, and now I'm the gringo in the back filming. Now I feel a little more in danger. But we got permission to basically film. They're all in front of me right now, so I'm definitely getting more weird looks. You guys will see as we walk by. But we are.
It does take.
Like I said, we are with.
It does take something to like talk into a camera as you walk, and it's definitely a weird thing. Like when I go to Cuba, I recorded the last time I was in Cuba, and I made like one short about it, and nobody watched it. So I just kind of gave up on the documentary I wanted to make, and now I'm like more so pursuing this idea of making documentaries with other YouTubers by taking them to Cuba than just me going alone. And it feels very, very weird because everybody obviously only speaks Spanish. For me to like pull out my phone or a camera and be talking into it as I'm walking or driving around. And there's definitely also a vibe like, yo, put the camera away because we could get in trouble. We don't know what you're saying. You could be saying something bad about the government, and we don't want to be on camera when you're saying that or at all.
The leader, so he said originally don't film on the way in, film on the way back because he knows who's here now. So we are allowed to film. Definitely getting some dirty looks. But as everyone gives the dirty looks, they all point to the leader, and they're like, oh, he's with them, he's good. So you guys can actually see what's all around me now.
I wonder though, like, I don't know how Brazil works. How easily could you like, you know, recognize these gang members given like the urban density of the favelas? Like maybe in the US it would be easier because everybody's got a Facebook or an Instagram and an ID and whatnot for people to like identify someone, I guess, from the video. But like I don't know, I would assume that with the level of urban sprawl of favelas and the level of population density, like for all I know, some of these people could be totally like unrecognizable, even like if the feds are looking for them. I guess if the feds are like super looking for you, I guess they could be like, oh, he's there, but like I don't know. I they're not even doing anything illegal, so I don't see the danger in like hanging out at a soccer game. But whatever, like people don't want to be on camera. I get it.
I'm not gonna turn it off. I'm just gonna let it sit.
After this, I gotta go.
They have a bunch of photos of like Brazilian football players. They worship these guys.
Here's a really, really, really good piece of advice for anybody that's trying to do YouTube. I heard it, I don't remember where. If you make a YouTube video, you should show it to your friends and your family and other people. And whenever you get that awkward feeling in your stomach of, oh, hold on, like that they're getting disengaged and you can feel it yourself watching the content, if you have to say, oh, hold on, this next part is good, cut out the last part then. Why should the next part be good? There should not be a disengaging part. And I think that's like a really, really good way to live on YouTube. And I think this video has a lot of stuff where you definitely will feel like, hold on, this next part is good. But again, it did incredible. So I guess it doesn't matter that much. I guess people are willing to sit through a lot more than I think in service of the promise of what's coming at the end of the content, which for this is doing an interview with the most dangerous gang.
Here. Like that's your way out the hood. Gringo. Sua noma. Agatha. Yes. Wow. Noma linda. Oh, you speak English. International risk. Pasporte, Estados Unidos. Yeah. So I marry you.
Yo, look at that awkward ass Riz. Yo, that's how it be. The girls literally look at her face. She's going, and he's going like, I marry you. Like, bro. He gets into it pretty alright later, but like, that's how girls be. They be like, but you drop like one line in the language, it's kind of a rap. But I don't know if you can like pull. I don't know. I don't do that.
Portuguese. I don't think it's a good idea.
You see, you drop one line in the language. He goes, oh, you bad. You're beautiful. And they all go, ah! Yo, that happened. Like, have you ever seen those Xiaoma videos or Lao Shu, rest in peace? Like the people that are American, but they speak like a totally different language, and people just are blown away, or like language simp. Like, it's such a trope that he makes fun of it. It's really funny. This is true though. People freak out if you drop some words in their language. I speak pretty okay Mandarin. Not perfect, but pretty okay. People are always blown away when I pull out the Mandarin. Like in a YouTube video. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got that international race. No biggie. Can you ask her if I'm her type? Does she think I'm hot? Yes. She asked me if you take Agatha to Arabia. She wants me to take her to Arabia? She wants to go with you. Come on, we gotta kiss first? Você pode dar beijo no rosto primeiro? Let's go.
What? Look at Netflix. Holy shit.
When I walked out, he started laughing. He said I could have kissed her on the lips. He was watching from behind and kind of like wingmanning me, which was pretty cool.
I feel like I'm vaping too much.
He was for sure a pro.
How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? You speak English? I listen. I understand. Yeah? He understands. Why you speak English so good? More or less. Yeah, why? Where you learn? Movie? Really? You watch a lot of movie? Yeah. Oh, wow. ¿Cuánto tiempo?
¿Cuánto tiempo?
Yeah.
16. Frio.
I'm back, friend. Where's your girlfriend? I get it. She's coming? She's coming.
Yeah, so now he gets the haircut.
You got your I like. Really?
Oh, man. He's like a cokehead. Yeah, this is boring. I don't really care about this. Okay, so it's about to pick up. That's the thing, right? You should never have to say it's about to pick up.
Look, guys, if I could show you it here, I would. But YouTube often bans a lot of my content because of nature. I document some of the most raw and unfiltered content that exists on YouTube, and with that comes a lot of issues. Truth is, I'm a YouTuber who hasn't sold my soul to the devil, and YouTube doesn't like that. That's why I've created a free website to post all the footage that doesn't make it into the videos. If you want to see the open market, you can go to arabuncut.com to join the movement. Because whether you like it or not, you've made it this far into the video, which means you're part of the movement.
This is 20 minutes in. Okay, the interview starts 20 minutes in, but this video has insane. I would guess the video could be demonetized. It definitely could be, but I'd be shocked if it was, since it got so much promotion. Like it to get 4 million views, like it probably has like 100 million impressions. which is a lot. Which isn't like, for context, like I do a video, it gets maybe like 270,000 impressions in like a month, right? So 100 million impressions is a huge deal, and that's how you get 4.3 million views. 20 minutes in is when the interview takes place. Whereas like a Mr. Beast video, Mr. Beast has like cut everything down to like a 7-minute video. He's not even doing 10 minutes because it's just constant. It's like a TikTok. It's literally. Whereas this is like a vlog. It's a little more slowed down. I'm really amazed that this did so well, but I guess it's just that fascinating of a topic. This shows you how strong a good topic and a good thumbnail can be, because this is 20 minutes of like a travel vlog that's like, he's in the favelas in Brazil. I get it. It is interesting, but it's obviously this that everybody's here for. So this is how hard a good title, thumbnail, and topic can carry a video. This literally blew up his entire channel. Like, it's smart. It's smart. And then he's got all the ad revenue from, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't know how many ads are in here. If I went into like incognito, maybe I could see. YouTube Premium, best investment ever, and I write it off as a tax write-off every year because I got to watch YouTube for research for other YouTube videos. Like right now, even if I'm just making 10 cents from this stream, I'm using my YouTube Premium to not see ads. Tax write-off. Yeah, like he's got all the ad rev from all of this and all the watch time, even if it's lower engagement, because the engagement is so high over here, it's promoting the video more. That's amazing. All right, let's see the interview.
Agora ele quer tirar foto com vocês.
Ah, com a gente? Yes,
aqui no meio, que é isso, vem.
I'm gonna use for a thumbnail.
Vem, mulher. Bora, divulgação. Isso aí, vai, senta aí.
Too big, bro. How do you say he's too fat?
Ele é muito gordo pra ficar vocês aí.
How old are you?
34.
At what age did you start being involved in crime?
16 anos de idade.
Do you think the media gives you a bad image, or do you deserve it?
Mostra. Porque ele não vem ver o lado verdadeiro. O que a gente pode fazer ou não. Entendeu?
Do the people in the favela feel safe under your control?
Se sente segura, porque se não tivesse a gente aqui, ia estar mais inseguro, não? Então o pessoal na favela se sente seguro.
How does a shift in power happen? Is that because of an outside favela coming in trying to invade? Or is it somebody on the inside trying to take over?
Ele perguntou o seguinte, se quando vocês tomaram o poder aqui, se vocês vieram de comunidades próximas e invadiram, ou se foi alguém de dentro que trocou a facção.
A gente fome tomando a bala.
When it becomes, the war gets aggressive, the war becomes big, and there's gunshots a lot around here. How do the rules of the streets change? The kids, do they need to stay inside? The kids can't play anymore?
While war having?
Yeah.
Assim. Sim. Tô falando aqui.
Primeiro lugar morador, segundo lugar morador, terceiro lugar morador. Entendeu?
Ele diz o que num caso se tiver uma guerra no morro?
É.
Como é que fica em relação a todos os moradores, isso tudo? Isso aí. Primeiro lugar morador, segundo morador, terceiro morador.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I said earlier. It's like the cartels where the government is not doing enough. There is not enough economic opportunity. So the place is probably rife for gang violence. And what ends up happening is gangs come in and then they get public support or public disdain. So eventually you create a hierarchy where it's people that are just looking out for their families and trying to make a living for themselves. They take everything with violence. They just said, we took it with bullets. And eventually a social structure has to appear from that, where if it's run with fear, like the people's families live there, right? So somebody's going to come up and try to kill them and try to take everything from them and try to take over and try to change it. So eventually, right, if there is ever somebody that's dictatorial in their own neighborhood where everybody's family is, one of the sons or fathers from that neighborhood is going to get it in him to go kill him, or several will, right? And then they're going to become a gang because they need to protect themselves, and they're going to rise up against them, and they're going to go, we don't want to put our mothers and our daughters and our sisters and our children in danger, so let's just take out these people And then we also don't have a lot of economic opportunity. So these, illegal things like drug deals and arms dealing and whatever is going to happen anyway. So let's do that. Like it would just naturally occur in any place with low economic opportunity that would lead to illegal activity being the most lucrative thing you could possibly do. Because like these people can go to med school and become high paid doctors and get a good education, right? They're not going to end up in a gang. So these are, probably lower educated people from lower income areas. This is the best thing they can do, but they still want that money for their family. They want to take care of their family. Brazilian and Latin culture, family is very, very important. So that comes into play very early. And then eventually you end up with this sort of hierarchy where it's the residents are all that come first. We're just here to defend them and do our illegal activities. But on top of that, nobody else is taking care of our families and like our neighborhood. So people are more willing to go work for the gang and do things for the gang because it benefits the area than if they were fucking up and destroying the area. I don't know why it's not like that in the U.S. Yeah, you can't can you blame that on police? Can you blame it on like just high policing? Like what is it in the U.S. that leads to high crime areas not looking out for one another in the same way? There's definitely a lot of community within the hood, but like it's not like this where it's like we are literally taking care of everyone because the government won't. But I would assume these places are probably less policed and have less intervention from the government. I don't know. It could be a lot of things. That's really interesting. I wonder why these sorts of the organized crime protecting their family and everybody in the neighborhood type of structure doesn't show up in the U.S. but does in Brazil or China or Mexico. That's really interesting.
When other favelas come in to invade you guys for war, do they respect these rules to protect the citizens and not shoot your citizens?
Não, tu explica pra ele que a gente sim, entendeu? Mas a facção rival que vai estar entrando, não. Porque eles vão estar desconfiando dos moradores. Em caso de quê? De estar passando a visão, de estar escondendo alguma coisa, entendeu? Então é diferente, explica pra ele.
All the citizens respect you here because I went into a favela in Sao Paulo. And when I entered, they knew I was a stranger, and they start texting the gang to come get me, and they come and get me, and it's almost like everybody knew this is a stranger. So is that a common? Does everybody in the favela?
Okay, yeah, he did a video. So this is in Rio, right? Which is, I think, no, Brasileira is the capital, but Rio's a really big, obvious city. Rio de Janeiro, it's where the Christ the Redeemer is, like one of the most famous places in Brazil. And then there's Sao Paulo, which is another massive city. It's where my girlfriend's family is from. It's in the south relative to Rio. He was in Sao Paulo. I don't know if first, like, I don't know which video was filmed first, but he was in Sao Paulo and he did videos on Sao Paulo and he went to the favelas there. And that's what he's talking about is like there were lookouts on every corner and very quickly he got the gang's attention. And then he ended up sort of doing an interview with the gang there, but not like this. I don't know how he set this up. This is incredible. This is like insane that he got this. Like, wow. I forgot to say, wow, how the fuck did he do this? This is incredible.
Someone's number to text, like, stranger in town, come see who he is.
Tu faz parte de toda a comunidade. Se vê estranho, morador avisa, entendeu? Faz parte.
Do they try to invade other favelas or they just try to protect their own?
Morador sempre em primeiro lugar, entendeu? Moradores.
The guy says the same thing a lot. I wonder if there was poor translation. Like, because there must be things that are lost in translation here. I'm trying to think, like, because I am probably going to go with this guy to Cuba unless he changes his mind at the last minute, which would definitely fucking suck. I'm banking on that pretty hard because I think that would be my goal is eventually to be able to take people like Hassan and Second Thought, these like socialist YouTubers that want to talk a lot of shit about the realities and the history of my country and tell me, right, a Cuban American who has family there, goes there all the time, I've already been there once this year, that I'm lying about my experience and my family's experience, or want to tell me insane things like, oh, your family had slaves in like the 1980s. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And then they tell you you're a liar. Like, Be Cuban and go on Twitter and you will experience this. So I'm trying to think, like, I can see why, because the similarities between Portuguese and Spanish and like the little Portuguese I know, why the guy is responding the way he is. But I really wish I could hear the way the questions are being asked in Portuguese, because I'm trying to think of what is being lost in translation for some of these answers. You know what I mean? Because the guy just sort of responds in a way that he's not fully answering the question.
Crianças, idosos, entendeu? Explica pra ele.
É mais importante.
É mais importante isso daí, entendeu? Proteger o nosso território. Explica pra
From
ele.
the moments we had off camera, the guy was kind of becoming a homie. So I wanted to get closer to lean into his personal side.
Do you enjoy this life of chaos, or do you wish it could be normal?
Se o Estado desse uma oportunidade melhor, a gente seguiria, entendeu? Mas como a gente é nascido e criado aqui, entendeu? Nesse momento é a nossa melhoria. Não que a gente no futuro, né, a gente procure outra coisa melhor, entendeu? Mas se o Estado no momento não oferece, a gente vai vivendo, né? Nossa caminhada, entendeu? Protegendo e guardando.
Hold on, I missed that. I'm sorry, I was texting.
Nesse,
Okay,
entendeu?
what did he ask?
Do you enjoy this life of chaos, or do you wish it could be normal?
Se o Estado desse uma oportunidade melhor.
Hold on a second, I'm so sorry, I'm texting. I'm really sorry about this. I'll cut that part out of the video, I promise.
A gente seguiria, entendeu?
Okay, so this is a complex
Do you enjoy this life of
sentence.
chaos, or do you wish it could be normal?
Do you enjoy this life of chaos, or do you wish it would be normal? Tu gosta esta vida de chaos, whatever chaos is, ou prefere que sea normal? I guess would be like how I would translate that, but my Portuguese isn't that good. If the government gave us a better
Se desse uma
opportunity,
oportunidade melhor, a gente seguiria, entendeu?
we would
Mas
follow
como a
it.
gente é nascido e criado aqui,
But since we're born
entendeu?
and raised here,
Nesse
entendeu?
momento é a nossa melhoria. Não que a gente no futuro, né, a gente procure outra coisa melhor, entendeu? Mas se o Estado no momento não oferece, a gente vai viver.
Very interesting. So they say it's the government. Is Brazil socialist? No, hold on a second. Is Brazil socialist? Is Brazil so? It's not. I'm pretty confident it's not. Are you fucking kidding me? I gotta pay for this. Okay, so there's a socialist movement. Yeah, they have like a super right-wing guy, Jair Bolsonaro. I don't know if he's still the president. Elections suggest a socialist wave. In the early 2000s, Brazil's economy was growing rapidly. This is assets.net. I don't know if this is a trustworthy place. Quora? Let me see how this looks on the... Shit, where'd OBS go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh my god, why are these always the ads? No, Brazil is not a socialist country like most democracies. It's a mixed economy, primarily capitalist, with some government intervention that varies depending on the party in power. Yeah, so what do they mean by if the government, like in Cuba, right? That would make sense. In Cuba, it would make sense to say if the government gave us opportunities, because how it works in Cuba is, let's say you're an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneur. You go to the Cuban government office and you say, I want to start a business. I want to run a business. I want to manage a business. I want to be in charge of some business. You put your name on a list, and they have a list of the businesses that the government needs someone to run, right? And you can apply for one, but they're just going to give, if they accept you, which there's a lot of nepotism in there. They say everything's equal, but like the people that are in the military or the families of the government officials are the ones that obviously get the most lucrative and best opportunities in these businesses. But let's say you get accepted, right? They are going to put you in whatever business. So like you don't go and you're like, I'm going to start a jeans manufacturing company and then go out and raise the capital to make jeans. You say, I would like to apply to start a business, and then maybe they tell you, even though you have like, they might take your experience into consideration, I guess. So if they have something, I guess they'll take your experience into consideration to an extent, but there's a history of not doing that, and that's why things are going so bad in Cuba right now. Like in Cuba, there's no sugar right now. Like one of my favorite things to do whenever I go to Cuba is get guarapo, which is sugarcane juice. They put the sugarcane through a blender, or just go to the sugarcane fields with a machete, chop down some sugarcane, cut it open, and start chewing on it because it's sugar like fiber. It's like a sugary. It's not like a gum because it's plant fiber, right? Like it's almost wood, but it tastes good, and you can like chew at it and suck at it all day. Last time I was there, this year, 2023, in February, there was no sugar cane. And the funny thing is, I send my family pictures now from the supermarket, which kind of is fucked up because we have so much shit here and they have nothing. But like they live so differently that I asked for the sugar cane when I get there. They're like, oh, he doesn't know. And I'm like, what? Like, there's no sugar cane. I'm like, how is that possible? Cuba is like famous for tobacco and sugar. And they're like, no, they messed it up. The government put the sugar in the hands of the wrong people, and thus the harvest was very, very bad. So there's no sugar. There's no refined sugar. The refineries aren't good. So like white sugar. And they say all we have is azúcar crudo, crude, raw sugar, the brown sugar. And I go, that's so funny, because in the U.S., that's called organic sugar, the raw sugar, the raw crystals that haven't been refined into the white powder. And it's more expensive. It's like significantly more expensive. It's seen as a luxury product because sugar is such a problem in the U.S. that it's seen as like the non-bleached, non-refined sugar is more natural or more healthy. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably not. It's just carbohydrates, right? It's just simple sugars that are broken down very quickly by your body. And that they like, that's such an alien concept to them. Like the sugar that you are ashamed to say you have because you don't have the normal thing, you don't have access to, because there's still pride. These people are still prideful and still have culture and refinement. And they still come from European nobility thinking, right? So you still have like ornamentation and fanciness in the house, and people want to present well. They're ashamed when they say we only have crude sugar. Unfortunately, it's so alien to be like, people will pay more for this than the sugar that you can't have access to in the US. It's so weird. Anyway, so that's an example of how businesses might be given to the wrong people and mismanaged. So in Cuba, they just give you whatever they give you, and you end up doing whatever business it is. So that's literally the government giving you an opportunity, right? And then maybe you can run the business well, maybe you can't. Like, it really depends on like the kind of money people have, and people don't have a lot of money to spend. So I don't see how a business can run well, but whatever. When they say if the government gave us better opportunity, I don't know how they mean that. I would need to know more about Brazil. Could I ask my girlfriend? Let me ask my girlfriend. I'm going to play the video.
Vivendo, né? Nossa caminhada, entendeu? Protegendo e guardando.
If there is a kid who is good at football or good at music, they tell him, no street life for you. You need to do this. You need to do music. You need to do football. You're not allowed guns. You need to get away from this life. Or what?
Like a children here.
Or yeah, somebody
like
growing up, a teenager, 15 years old.
Okay.
Avisa pra ele que a gente evita. E quando a gente percebe, a gente nunca vai deixar ele ser criminoso. A gente vai botar ele pra seguir o caminho, entendeu? Porque aqui, querendo ou não,
that's like some shit from a movie. I guess that's why they're asking him. But I guess that does happen. I have no experience with criminal and gang life besides like what little I saw in Miami, right? But that, like, I don't respect those people. I genuinely don't respect the people that are gang members in Miami, because the way gang structure happened in Miami was just like people decided to be gangs and start killing other people for no reason. Like, I guess it started as like selling drugs, and then it turned into like people stealing cars. I have a cousin that was involved in it, and he's from the richest part of our family. From like his family are Harvard educated fucking lawyers. They are multi-millionaires, and guess what all that money gets spent on? Him going to rehab over and over and over and over and over. And before that, like, they left Cuba early while they were still wealthy. They were textile manufacturers, So there was no reason for this guy from like an upper middle class area to join gang shit, but he did. So I don't respect them at all. So I have no point of reference for this, but this seems like something that would happen in a movie. Like a kid that's like really good at the piano or really good at soccer, you know, getting pulled into, it's the opposite, right? It's the opposite in the US. Is what I just described is the opposite of that, right? Like the kid that has everything in front of him, a family of lawyers, he's got everything put in front of him for the tools for success. And like the Lifetime movie, right, is like they offer him drugs and then he goes off the path and like fucks up his whole life. That's like the Lifetime version of it, but that happens here. So yeah, I wonder how common that is, like in there. Or right, if the kid's like trying to get out by being the best soccer player or a pianist or really good at school, really good at education, getting like a scholarship to get out of the favela, are they being told by their friends like, yo, come do gang shit? Or are they the ones that are interested in it because it's what's around them? I don't know. How common is that? Does anybody know? If you're like from a third world country, can you comment and let me know like how common that is? Not just any third world country, one with gang violence.
Potencial, entendeu? Então aqui a gente nunca vai recrutar jovem pro crime não. Explica pra ele, entendeu?
How do you recruit new members or kids and what age?
Tirando os jovens que ninguém recruta, vou ser sincero pra você, no crime, ninguém chega pra você, cara, entendeu? E toma, não. Tu tem duas pernas, não tem? Hoje não tem um mundo paramétrico, você vira bandido se você quiser, entendeu? A gente não recruta ninguém, mano. As oportunidades estão aí e tem dois destinos na vida, ou trabalhar, entendeu? Ou traficar, você escolhe. Eles vêm até nós, a gente não sai, entendeu? E vai recrutar, não.
So when a kid joins, what's the process? Okay, what's the process of somebody joining the gang? What's their initiation? Do they have to kill someone? Do they have to steal something?
Iniciação. Cara, pra você começar no crime, tem funções, correto? Se você começar como olheiro, você vai ter que ser bom como olheiro, na visão, entendeu? Se você for um gerente, você vai ter que ser bom em quê? Em contabilidade, entendeu? Então, no crime tem diversas funções. Cabe a você que você vai demonstrar pra você ser, entendeu? Se você vai ser melhor olhando, se você vai ser melhor. Ninguém nasce matador, entendeu? Explica pra ele.
He's an artist with his words.
Ele falou que você fala muito bem.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
See, there's a difference there, right? He said, you're an artist with your words. And the guy didn't say, você é artista com suas palavras. Is it palavras? He said that you speak very well, right? There's a difference there. There's more artistry in the way you said it in English, but Portuguese is similar enough in its structure to English for that same language of like you paint a picture with words, you're an artist with your words, to be passed along and still be sensical. But that could also just be me. I don't know.
Thank you.
What really makes you trust the other gang members around you? Do you have to kill someone together? Do you
Yo,
have...
this guy, by the way, like this guy is trying so hard to get them to talk about killing people on camera. He is trying so hard, and they are just, they could be purposefully ducking that part of the question. People do that. But watch, man, like I've seen this before. The gang members, when he finally like has no other way to say it besides being like, how many people have you killed? Like, you know, they're coy about it. They're like, none, not a single one. And they all laugh. But any other time he like tries to sneak it into the question or include it in a question for a larger answer, like, right, he's saying here, the real question is, how do you come to trust someone? Examples. Like if this was like a written question, it'd be like, how would you come to trust someone? Parentheses, example, do you have to kill someone together? Do you have to steal something together? Do you have to do a crime together? Close parentheses. The real question is, how do you trust someone? So I'm wondering if the translator is asking that part of the question, or if he's just saying, how do you come to trust someone? Let me see if they have the Portuguese part in.
Have to steal something together, because there are many gang members, and you know, they're part of the faction, but you don't trust them all the same. What makes you trust someone to death?
Lealdade. No crime assim, cara, mostrar no dia a dia. Digo pra você assim que o crime é uma parada difícil de você conviver. Às vezes, vamos botar assim um exemplo. Se botar uma droga ali, um exemplo, explica pra ele, botar uma droga na mesa. Tem 3 pessoas ali, entendeu? É você dar as costas e você voltar e tá ali. Aí você vai confiar nos 3.
I'm really sorry. I need to keep going back. This is
tá
really
entendendo?
unprofessional, but like somebody's texting me in real time and wants me to talk to them in real time. So.
To death.
Lealdade.
Lealdade.
No crime assim, cara.
Lealdade. No crime.
Mostrar no dia a dia. Digo pra você assim que o crime é uma parada difícil de você conviver. Às vezes, vamos botar assim um exemplo. Se botar uma droga ali, um exemplo, explica pra ele, botar uma droga na mesa. Tem 3 pessoas ali, entendeu? É você dar as costas e você voltar e tá ali. Aí você vai confiar nos 3.
Tá ali.
Você tá me entendendo?
Você tá me entendendo?
É tipo basicamente isso assim, entendeu? É você ir e você voltar e continuar ali, mano. Entendeu?
They say entendeu a lot.
How many people have you killed?
All right, he's got. You see, like the whole time he's been trying to get him to say, like, talk about killing people. Even though at the beginning they did say we took the favela with bullets, right? They're alluding to like there was violence, there was fighting. We took it with bullets. Like, bro, you're not shooting everybody in the leg. You probably killed some people. But Arab wants the specifics really, really bad, and the guy's just not going to give it to him.
Você já matou?
How did he say it?
Quantas pessoas você já matou?
Yeah. Quantas pessoas você ama do it? I guess do it is killed. It's just like French. See, he laughs. He's not gonna answer that. What must that be like?
Nenhuma. Graças a Deus.
Nobody.
Nobody.
He doesn't believe him. Bro, can you imagine laughing in a gangster's... I guess, like, he's being buddy-buddy with them. But he's kind of laughing in this gangster's face. Because they all know, like, he probably killed somebody. I don't know, maybe he didn't. But they did say they took the favela with bullets, so...
Nobody, man.
Verdade.
Nobody, man.
Verdade.
How do you lift up it? Does he have, like, a scar from a bullet?
How many people have you ordered to be killed?
You see, he's trying to get it really... He's not gonna answer that.
Have you ever had to get rid of someone in your gang because they were traitors?
Rapaz, é complicado, né?
Já tiveram traidores aqui?
Diversos. Muitos. Mas tu sabe, fala pra ele que todo final, o final é igual pra todos. A gente não precisa, né?
If you listen closely, you'll hear a noise.
Precisa, né?
That was the leader behind the camera, insinuating that if someone betrays them, they're dead.
Sei.
Final, eu falo pra ele que é igual o gesto do Flamengo, é vapo.
Like,
all the traitors, same punishment.
Se são traidores, merecem um final, né? De traidores.
A thief or someone who tries to kill you or something small, same punishment.
Falha leve? Como assim? Pergunta pra ele assim, como assim? Como assim falha leve? É, vamos dizer, o boa é sem leme. Agora coisa... Isso. Caguetar, estrupar é pior. Falta grave. Explica isso pra ele, entendeu? Agora o resto tem desenrolado. Entendeu? Agora o que não tem... Roubar, caguetar, estrupar.
That's good. Those are good rules, right? Like, nobody likes that kind of stuff. You see, like, Sin Nombre about MS-13. I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know how accurate MS-13, Sin Nombre, without name, the movie is. And, like, they don't give a shit about, like, murder and grape. But, yeah, like, it seems to me, like, in most of the world, like, people, like, even in gangs, respect and protect women and children.
Roubo, explica pra ele que ainda até vai. Se for uma coisinha boba, entendeu? Mas vai ter uma advertência, entendeu? Agora, estrupar, matar e caguetar é vapo.
Why do you do all this? What's your end game? Like, what's the goal in the end?
Num futuro melhor, todo mundo quer uma vida diferente, entendeu? Enquanto isso, a gente vai metendo mais que a gente tá. E num futuro próximo melhorando, entendeu? A gente ajeita a nossa vida. Mas sempre com um futuro melhor, né, mano? Seja no crime ou fora dele. Entendeu?
I'm sorry.
Por isso a gente vai no futuro melhor.
What's your end game? Like, what's the goal in the end?
Live like Tupac.
Futuro melhor, todo mundo quer uma vida diferente, entendeu? Enquanto isso, a gente vai metendo mais que a gente tá. E no futuro próximo melhorando, entendeu? A gente ajeita a nossa vida. Mas sempre com um futuro melhor, né, mano? Seja no crime ou fora dele. Entendeu?
Yeah, everybody's working. Like, bro, you don't do crime. Like, you do crime for the money. Like, I don't think people do crime except like sociopaths and serial killers, which these people are not. For the love of crime, they're an organized organization. That's what organized means. They're doing it for the money. They sell drugs and run guns or whatever else they do for money. To like have, they said they don't have economic opportunity. To them, this is a job. This is an economic opportunity.
If someone wants to exit the crime, can they?
This is what I was talking about in The Wire, right? The guy that went down to prison for 15 years for them and then comes out and doesn't have the gang life in him anymore because he's in his 30s or 40s. And like, they're happy to see him go and they give him the money to go start a gym for the neighborhood kids.
If he wants to leave right now.
Seria. Quando você não tem dívidas, quando você não tem nada de errado no morro, você pode ir embora sim, mano.
So, but everybody is in debt to someone here in the favela. That's how it works. It's favors, right? So you can't just quit. You can't just leave.
You see the translators like, what do you mean? Like, that's a hard concept to convey, and I don't know how he's making that assumption. But even the translators having difficulty thinking of how to word that, and I think that's why some of the answers that come out seem like they don't really answer the question, because I think the question's being asked in a different way.
He's saying yes, but you can't actually just leave because everyone owes someone something.
Uhum.
Às vezes, vamos supor,
Se quando tu sai do crime, tu
alguém
ainda...
matou alguém pra te proteger.
Ah, tá.
Você vai ficar devendo
Uhum.
favor pra essa pessoa que não é dinheiro.
Uhum.
Você vai ser tranquilo você ir embora e deixar de proteger aquela pessoa que já te protegeu?
Explica pra ele que tudo que é feito no crime, seja de bom ou de ruim, é pago ali. Quando você sai, você tem uma nova vida. Tudo que você fez ali com a sua rapaziada fica ali. Entendeu? Seja de bom ou de ruim. Quando você vira uma pessoa normal, você segue a sua vida e o seu nome. O seu apelido de crime você esquece.
Even the lower levels. So if I come in and I work for crime for 6 months, and then I say I don't want to do this.
Poderia.
Ou talvez, por exemplo, alguém achar ele mandado por causa disso.
Não.
You can do that.
Cool.
Todos têm o direito de uma nova vida, explica pra ele.
How much money does your faction move? Just this favela on a daily basis, every day.
300 mil.
Per week?
Week.
Per week.
Week.
Oh, and if you look at either the description or the top comment, oh, you can follow the translator. Very interesting. Is this sorted by most recent? Yeah, okay. I thought I saw the pinned comment somewhere say he meant $300,000, not reals.
Is this a real number or is this an exaggerated number for the video?
Verdadeiros.
Okay.
Verdadeiros e contados.
Yeah, do you have kids?
Você tem filhos?
2.
Show.
And are they allowed to be in crime?
Não, diz pra ele aí que tem que ser advogado, médico.
And you have a wife?
Diz pra ele, distância total de crime. Fala
Hold
pra
on,
ele.
hold on.
Do you have a wife or
Hold on.
you got like 5
I'm
girlfriends
sorry.
on rotation?
Why is it not playing?
2.
Show.
And are they allowed to be in crime?
Não, diz pra ele aí que tem que ser advogado, médico.
And you have a wife?
Diz pra ele, distância total de crime, fala pra ele.
Do you have a wife or you got like 5 girlfriends on rotation? Quanto?
Diz pra ele aí que a gente tem um harém, mano.
You just call them and they come? Or off the street?
Yeah.
Do girls in the favelas like to fuck
Fala
gang
que
members?
prazer, fala pra ele que é prazer intenso. Fala pra ele. I'm black.
How often does he leave the favela?
Não saio. Fala pra ele que é raro.
Okay, so in a year, how many times?
Fala pra ele só quando
We have 2
precisa.
more minutes.
Can he give us a number that he did last year, like 4 times?
Fala pra ele que não me recordo, não. Difícil, fala pra ele, difícil.
It's very hard. They don't
Very hard,
Okay.
very hard.
Have you ever been in love?
Já.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many times? Quanto?
Quantas vezes? Fala pra ele diversas vezes. Fala pra ele. Fala pra ele que bandido também ama.
Nice. That's it. Done.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend.
Thank you. Estamos
Can I
aí.
hold this? This gun?
Now they
Não.
take the thumbnail picture, right?
Let me take a picture.
Dois, gêmeos.
Wait,
Dois.
give him this gun. Can you give him this gun?
Dois.
No, don't worry.
Don't touch. Let the tray.
And Rio.
Rio, Corolla.
That's a really good thumbnail. Like, come on, that's a great thumbnail.
All right, so we finished everything. I just bought the boys all burgers. Favela burger review just to end off the video. If you did make it this far, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out the uncut footage on arabuncut.com, my website where I upload stuff that YouTube always bans me for, but now we gotta try the burger review.
All right, let's see.
It's got some potatoes in it, some
Oh, I got those
onions,
downstairs.
ketchup.
My girl buys those to put in sandwiches and shit. Yeah. But we do that with Cuban food too. I think that's a pretty common Latin thing, putting the little potatoes in the food. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. That's it for the stream. I'll talk to you guys again another time.